Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet, lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Memories of laughter and tears, answers to my deepest fears. In these walls I find my truth, washing away the years. Ruth, oh, the road was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, everyone. It's 9 o'clock. I'm going to try to begin doing a live show for you ladies on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 o'clock, right after I do the Dear Brother podcast. Good morning. I have a quick half-hour show for you ladies. So good morning to all that are in here. I'm live on YouTube on the Dear Sister podcast. I'm also live on Facebook right now. So good morning to all you ladies. I just wanted to share something with you that's been on my mind. Again, this podcast does exist. My name is Christian, and I decided to do something for the ladies, a Dear Sister podcast, just to talk to you from a brother's heart. I think a lot of women, you need support from men who don't want anything from you. And that's very important that women have that. You need a father, a brother, or uncle, someone who will give you love and wisdom and advice in exchange for nothing, just because they want what's best for you. So I want to offer that to women out there. Part of the biggest drive is that I see a lot of bad information on YouTube. I do. A lot of bad relationship advice, a lot of bad wisdom dipped in nothing but destruction. I think a lot of I see a lot of YouTube channels from men. It's all an attack now. Men are attacking women, women are attacking men, and it's like there's no real answers to anything. And so I have God has given me wisdom, and I want to share what from a brother's heart for you, so you can hear it, understand men. Because men that want from something from you, sis, is never going to tell you the truth about men. Understand this. Also understand that some of the advice that you will receive from other women, you got to know that a lot of that advice that comes from your girlfriend or your mother or your auntie is based on what they've been through, right? So you can't define men just by the story someone else told you about men, right? But let me get into this because I got a short show. I got to get out of here today. But I want to talk about trauma bonds. I want to talk about women and trauma bonds. This is a conversation that I was going to have with the brothers, but I think I think you all are way more affected by trauma bonds than men are, right? And you also I see a lot of my sisters, you all get destroyed by these trauma bonds. It's connections based on, it's based on false love or connections based on trauma that's not really real, right? And then because of who you are as a woman, because of your nurturing mentality, you begin to believe that you have a responsibility or a duty to then take care of people or mend men. Let me say it again. You start to believe that you have a responsibility to mend men. But I want to say this to you, sisters. When God made man, he did not need Eve's help. He doesn't need your help now. If a man is not a man, your care, love, and concern for him is not going to make him a better man. Check out my other podcast. I think I put down last week. I don't care how much you love a man, sister. I don't care how much you're into him and have hope for him. You don't have the authority or the power to change a man. Your love won't do it. Your gifts won't do it. Your ability to have great X with him won't do it. Your lingerie won't do it. You got to understand this, ladies, right? And we'll talk deeper about other stuff, but real men who are trying to build something are looking for something beyond that anyway. Understand, I think some of the worst advice that a lot of you sisters have gotten from older women is that you get to a man's heart through his belly. Well, there's certain men that just want to eat. You can get to him through his belly. But if you want the kind of man you want to, I hear a lot of you sisters say, you want an intellectually intelligent man. You want an emotionally intelligent man. Well, just feeding him, just giving him that food for his belly, that's not going to attach him to the kind of man you want. You need more than just a good plate of food to attach him to you. I'm telling you from a space of even from where I am. I believe I'm a halfway intelligent man. I believe that I'm a visionary type of man, and the kind of man that you want in your life that can really lead you, that can really guide you, that can really affirm you. He needs more than a meal. That man is looking for intellect from a woman. He's looking for strength of mind. That's what he's looking for. Look, you can order some food, sister. Y'all can go order some food. Y'all can have a great time, but it's something else that a real, genuine man is looking for from a woman. What he's looking for is a woman that can help him, that can help him flesh out the visions that's in his heart. That's what a real man is looking for. He's looking for a woman that has two wombs, one in her body, one in her head, right? The one womb that can produce a child, then the other womb that can produce vision. See, men only have seed, sister. Even with a baby, we only have a seed that we can give you that's 1,000th of a milliliter. And then you give us a baby. It's the same thing with vision in a man. A man can have a thought, right? That's a great thought, and he can do great with that thought. But when he invested in the womb of a woman that's right here, she can then help him flesh out. You can give him eyes, ears, vision, the same way you produce a child. So I want to talk even to some of you women, some of you ladies that's having issues making babies or found out that you can't have children. That doesn't devalue you as a woman, sister. Understand that you are able to birth, period. Men can't birth, right? Men can establish, men can care for, but only God gave the ability to a woman to create. That's the special part about you. And so that's why you have to guard your heart from what you take in. See, sisters, what you take in, you will produce, negative or positive. That's why a woman, the greatest thing you have to do, and this is going to sound strange to you, but it's the truth. Even as you protect your body, you should also protect your ear. The same way you wouldn't let just any man put a seed in your body. You shouldn't let any man just put a seed in your ear, because you will develop it with your mind. As much as you might not want to have a man's baby, so you protect from it, you got to also protect your mind from negative thinking, because you will produce. That's why some of you are stuck in places where a man told you you were ugly at 16 or told you you were fat at 12. And here you are 42 still dealing with that, because that word, you birthed it, you created it. So you have to guard your ear gate. The gate of your ear is just as important as guarding the gate of your body, right? And how do I guard it? The biggest thing that I want to talk about today, goodness gracious, I'm going to run out of time. I got 20 minutes. The biggest thing that I want you to guard today, or start to continue, sisters, start to look at, you have to guard yourself from creating trauma bonds. A trauma bond is when you're hurt and they're hurt, and you start connecting based on hurt. And I want to throw this in so I don't forget it. Sisters, not only will you create a trauma bond with a man, but you sisters, sometimes you also create trauma bonds with each other. That's why a lot of sisters have such a hard time developing friendships with women. A lot of women will tell you, and you've heard it yourself, you are the women. I'm just a man, but I've heard women say, it's so hard for me to have a relationship with women. I stay away from girls. They got too much drama, da, da, da. You know what it is? A lot of times you create unhealthy trauma bonds with people, right? She hurt and you hurt, so y'all get together and now y'all friends. Pain doesn't make sustainable friendship. Just as much pain doesn't make a sustainable relationship, right? You love him. You want to see him better, but you don't make a bond with a man based on pain, because that relationship will have no choice other than to continue in pain, right? So let's define the trauma bond. Let's define it so we can really look at it and really see that some of you are involved in a trauma bond right now, right? This is the trauma bond. The trauma bond is the relationship that's based on highs and lows, based on rewards and rejections, based on I love you, but I don't. A trauma bond is a yo-yo relationship where emotionally you're in and you're out and you're in and you're out. It's like somebody playing with your emotions, right? And the problem is the sickness of I'm gonna treat you bad and then reward you. It keeps you on a string. And that's why there's relationship you started 5 and 6 years ago and saying, how the hell did 5 years go by? Well, it's the dangling of reward. And this is the problem, sisters. Somebody can dangle a reward to you, dangle that they're going to marry you, dangle that they love you, dangle that they'll be for you. And what it does is it blinds you from the actual trauma that's connected with the dangling, right? It's almost like Israel when they were coming out of Egyptian bondage, right? They were enslaved in Egypt, and they came out of Egyptian bondage. They got so hungry. They got so hungry while they were on their way to freedom that they considered going back to bondage. Why? Because they couldn't get the taste out of their mouth. Even though I was in slavery, at least I was fed. A lot of you treat bad relationships that way, right? You're so afraid to say walk on your own and walk in the dark to discover yourself that you keep on creating trauma bonds because at least they're there. The question is, sister, is not whether a man is there for you, is the man there with you? Because a man can be there for you, right next to you, but not with you to help you locate your pain or help you locate the reasons for your low self-esteem. You got to understand, sister. You got to recognize these things and rescue yourself from them. Trauma bonds, they mimic love, but trauma bonds are produced from dysfunction and rooted in dysfunction. Understand this, sister. Trauma bonds create what we call emotional entrapments. Emotional entrapments, where you can know someone is no good for you, but you created an entrapment with him where you are dependent upon him, even though you know he's no good or you know that friend is no good. There's almost a dependence. Let me get into the chat. Let me see who's in the chat. All right. Okay, let me see. All right. Okay. All right. All right, let's go deeper. Let's go deeper in here, because I want to show y'all something, and I want y'all to understand. I want you to really understand what the trauma bond is. I'm trying to look at these. It's too many messages for me to see them all at the same time. I'm sorry. I'll get back to them at the end, right? But this is the thing. Why do, and I thought about this because I was thinking about teaching this to men, and I might still, again, it still affects women deeper. And I think it affects you sisters deeper than men. Trauma bonds affect you deeper than men because of your innate ability to nurture. This is the problem, sisters. This is the problem. A lot of your desire to nurture, what it produces is it produces a place of almost pride, where your ability to nurture, you begin to find people that are hurt. This is the problem. Givers and takers will always somehow mesh because the giver is always looking to give and the taker is always looking to take. So I know some of you sisters will say, Christian, I'm a giver. What am I supposed to do? Right? You're supposed to sit longer and decide if this person's worth giving to. Your nature will never change. If you're a giver, if you're a lover, if you're a sharer, that's who you are. So some of you will get frustrated and say, you know what? I'm not being like that no more. I'm not giving no more. I'm not doing this. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, sis. You are going to give. You are going to love. You're going to do all that. The question that you have to ask yourself is, why do I give this away so easy? A lot of times you sisters give it away so easy because you believe that your love is enough to call someone to exchange with you and give it back. The problem is, if you get with a taker, nothing's ever coming back, sis. It's not coming back, right? So it doesn't mean that every man's trash. It means that you want to love someone so bad that you're creating trauma bonds. You're creating relationships with a man that needs your love, but will never, ever appreciate it. Let me see. All right, let's get into it. Trauma bonds are very real, y'all. Trauma bonds are real. I am check. I don't know why this. Okay, so this is mixing with my morning chat. I'm sorry, y'all. So let me. I think I can finally see y'all your chats. Let me see. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Okay, I'm sorry. Here it is. Now I got you. All right, let me see. Oh my, the trauma bond. I've learned this lesson the hard way. All right, CJ Mendez. Okay, you know what I'm talking about, right? And it's not that you're bad women. Understand this. It's not that you're bad women, but let brother speak to you straight. You're not loving yourself enough. You're still trying to put your love with someone else's. No, sis, you have to have pure love for you. You have to have pure love for you in order to build with someone else. You have to. You have to. Otherwise, you'll be hurt. All right, let's get back into it because, goodness gracious, I got 12 minutes, y'all. Oh, God. Y'all hear me, ladies? All right, ladies, here we go. So, number two, why do women get drawn in? Because of your innate abilities to nurture. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of you ladies also get caught in trauma bonds because of childhood neglect. See, when you start talking about relationships, ladies, you got to love yourself enough to go far enough back to see that it wasn't your ex-husband, right? Was he a problem? Yes. It wasn't just your ex-boyfriend. Was he a problem? Yes. But you got to go way back into your childhood a lot of times to see why you are how you are. You have to. Because a lot of times it's unresolved trauma in your childhood. Emotional neglect, right? Some of you ladies that didn't have fathers, right? Or wanted your father's attention and he never gave it. Then what you'll find is you'll always be seeking your father's attention, just doing it with a man that's also taking from you. Understand this, ladies. A father is the first and only man in your life that will love you without the need to take anything from you at all. So you see why you can't then, because you didn't have a father, you can't go then give that love to anybody, because it's no guarantee that that man who you're giving it to is going to love you without the need for exchange. 99% of the time, that man's going to want something from you, right? So thus, I started the Dear Brother podcast. For some of you to say, look, I didn't have a dad, I didn't have a brother. Well, you got one now. You got one that will tell you the truth, not only about men, but will tell you the truth about you, sister. Because another thing, sis, is you can't keep on denying your trauma when you get in a relationship with a man. You have to be honest about what's hurt you. Why? Because you'll hurt him. You'll find a good man and hurt him bad. Not because it was your intention, but because you need from him something you never got in your childhood. Sisters, if you ever want to understand yourself emotionally, stop looking at your ex. Go back in your childhood and see what was missed there. How many words of affirmation did you miss then? Did you have a mother that didn't really affirm you? Did you have a father that didn't really affirm you, right? Those are the questions you got to ask. What was it that's driving this deep need that makes you create trauma bonds with other people, right? Some of you had mothers that shared too much with you. They told you too much about their pain, and you became a friend to your mother instead of a daughter to your mother. And a lot of times that drives you now. Now you're carrying burden. See, these are things you have to look at. It's patterns in your life that you grew up with that begin to chase you into your adulthood. And these are the things that hurt us. It's familiar pain. Familiar pain makes you find familiar pain. Why? Because a lot of you, my dear sisters, you know how to hurt. You don't know how to live healed. Oh my God, sisters. Oh, I'm so glad. I was so scared to start this podcast at one time, but y'all need this. Y'all need to hear this, right? Many of you are addicted to your pain, and healing seems weird, right? That's why you keep going back to the same kind of guy. It's a pattern of pain that you keep on following. Because why? Some of you say, at least I understand it. Well, girlfriend, don't you think it's time for you to try to understand something new? You're used to pain, right? You're used to it, but you never get numb to it. You never get numb to pain. No, 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 no. You can get numb to foolishness where you don't hear it anymore, but you never get numb to pain. And that's why some of us create trauma bonds. You find the most broken man to get with. Why? Number one, some of you think you can fix him, right? Number two, a lot of you ladies love a broken man because you can control the relationship. I know y'all going to jump. I'm probably going to lose everybody who's watching now, right? But we're talking adult stuff. A lot of you ladies enjoy a broken man because you can control him. And a lot of you do this because you got with another man. You couldn't control him. He cheated. He did whatever he wanted to. And from that, you made a decision that no one will ever treat me like this again. So I'll go get a bum that I can control and justify it in my own mind. All right. I know y'all want me to go. I got to go, but y'all want me to go. Let me look. Let me see. I'm trying, Co. I'm trying to teach a little bit this morning. Let me see. You're helping the people, bro. I'm trying, my brother. I'm trying my best, man. Thank you for stopping by, bro. Really love you, brother. Let me see. Yes. Emotional neglect results in having a need to cling to any type of attention. Yes. Even harmful attention. Absolutely. Imagine nurturing toxic love. Absolutely. Yes, we nurture toxic love. Why? Because it's the only love I have at the moment. Yes, it's sick, it's broken, but guess what? At least it gives me something that I can connect to, even if it's nasty. Right? And again, your innate need to nurture will also cause you to get with somebody, because just as much as a man doesn't want to go through life not fixing anything, because it's our innate nature to fix, it's innate nature for you to nurture. That took a lot for me to get that out. So I won't try it again, but I hope y'all caught it, right? Your innate ability to nurture makes you find people you gotta fix. And you can go meet a fabulous man, great man, but something in you can still sense and smell that there's something he needs you for. Sister, if you're jumping in a relationship, coming in saying it's something he needs me for, you're in trouble. You get with a man, you build with him, you discover what he needs you for. If you just want to be needed, you will end up abused. And you know what abuse stands for? Abnormal use. That's the word abuse comes from, abnormal use. And that's why a lot of you get with men that will abnormally use you, because you assume that you had a place in his life that you didn't have. And if you didn't have a place in his life, a raggedy man will keep you and sit you in a place of abnormal use. Oh goodness. Oh God, I got it. Okay. Also, when you lack validation, bad attention, yes, gives you the attention that you're missing through Absolutely. When someone didn't tell you anything, it doesn't take much. Right? It doesn't take much. And a man can sense. Listen, ladies, I know, when you go out and you're with your girlfriends, right? You go out when you're with a group of your girlfriends, y'all all beautiful, all y'all baddie, bad, right? But a certain man will come through that crowd and pick out the one, depending on what kind of man he is. A man knows which one of you are broken. A man that loves a broken woman can pick out very quickly the one that's broken, and he'll come straight to you. Now, y'all can I'm going to say that y'all can listen or not listen, but stop listening to your girlfriends about men. You listen to men about men, right? It's the same thing I tell my son. You want to know about women? Listen to your mother. I tell my daughters, you want to know about men? Listen to your father. That's why you should listen to me right now, sisters. Don't get pissed off at me. Get pissed off at your girlfriends and your mama and your auntie and them that lied to you. Listen to your brother. And I got a beautiful woman, so I'm not trying to get any of y'all. So I'm not giving you advice to try to hook up with you either. You understand? I'm giving you this advice because you need it, you deserve it, and there's a better day for you if you can choose it. But we got to get away from trauma bonds. We got to get away from feeling the need to be needed. The need to be needed. If you need to be needed, you'll be used. Let me see. This is on point. We're here for it. All right, sister. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me see. You're speaking truth. All right. All right. I know I'm in the right room now. Facts. Women who can control broken men, it's a weird sense of needing to protect herself. Absolutely. Nobody will hurt me. I'll pick a bum and I'll tell everybody he's great. Let me see. A raggedy man, abnormal use. Yeah, absolutely. Abuse, abnormally use you, take everything from you. Some of y'all had fabulous credit till you met that bum. You had great credit, right? And forget your credit, let's go deeper. You had great self-esteem before you met that bum. Who were you? This is the question I want to get to. Who were you before your shame? Let me take you back, baby girl. Let me take you back before you gave too much away. Who were you then? Before you gave up your financial status, before you gave up your esteem, when you felt beautiful, you have to return to a space where you are able to affirm yourself. And even though you went through hell, guess what, love? If you made it past that hell, you should reward yourself by knowing you're strong. You know how many women didn't make it out? They didn't get past it. And guess what? Even if you're still in it, if you're right here listening to me, you can make it too. You didn't come past this podcast today on accident. You didn't stop by just because you saw a cool red hat. You stopped here because God told you to stop here to get wisdom, knowledge, and understanding for you. Let me sit. All right. All right. So a lot of you get into, I got to rush through here now. All right. Goodness, I prepared this, but I got to rush. Let's talk about the hidden dangers of trauma. One of the greatest hidden dangers of the trauma bond is mental health. I need a longer podcast. I got to do a part two. I got to do a part two. But mental health, sisters, trauma bonds significantly affect your mental health. It leads to anxiety because you're walking around afraid. This is what a trauma bond does. Again, trauma bonds are based on reward and punishment, based on love and rejection, right? And so the dangling carrot is always there. When someone's always dangling a carrot before you and they keep on moving the goalposts, then you're running faster, you're running harder. And if you can't ever achieve, you start getting anxious. Am I doing right today? Am I running hard enough? Am I running fast enough? Am I pretty enough? Are my breasts big enough? Is my butt big enough? This were BBLs and all this stuff is a sickness. All this stuff is driven by a sickness of I'm not enough. It's not just, oh, let me get a better shape. No, baby, it's not about that. You got to understand the spiritual ramifications, the game that's played on the mind. See, nobody talks about this, but could you imagine the level of guilt, shame, and doubt that was on Eve after she gave Adam that fruit? Do you know what she was forced to live with after she did that? She was forced to feel unworthy. She was forced to feel like she was rejected. She was no good to her man anymore. She was forced to feel like that. Imagine, does the scripture record it? No, but as women, y'all know what it feels like. Let's put yourself in the feet of Eve right now. Right? She gave him the fruit. She had a conversation with somebody she shouldn't have. He convinced her that she wasn't enough. She took on fruit, gave it to her husband, right? And then she's walking around, and then Adam turns around and tells God, it's the woman you gave me, even though it wasn't her fault, right? There's a lot of stuff, ladies, that's not your fault, but you'll still wear it when you're involved in a trauma bond. That's a dusty man who can make you feel at fault for his own nonsense. It's a raggedy man that can make you feel like you are worthless. It's a trauma bond. And you know you didn't mess up, but his guilt won't let him take accountability. These are the things. Men don't take accountability and women admit no wrong. That's why it's hard to have healthy relationships now. Men take no accountability, and women will not admit wrong. Why? Because y'all want to keep the image of perfection. That's why you'll tell your girlfriend you a mess, but you'll lie to your man and tell him you got it all together. Oh, let me see. The constant anxiety and stress will really, yes, it will. It will send you straight to a trauma unit. Absolutely, it will. Absolutely, it will. It will mess your head up. It will mess your head up and you'll take blame, right? Here's another one. Anxiety. You'll fall into depression, right? That's when some of you ladies won't open the blinds. You'll lay in the bed. If you don't got to go to work, you'll lay in the bed and you'll call it tired. It's not tired. You are being drained by a trauma bond. Is when you don't want to get up and take a shower. Is when you just want to be glued to the bed. Yeah, is when you start eating a whole bunch of nonsense that you don't usually fill your body with because you're trying to satisfy your body since your soul is broken. Come on, sis. Trauma bonds. You can't connect with just any man, and you can't keep on believing I'll fix him and he'll get better. No, you will be broken and he'll move on, girl. Huh? Self-doubt, stress. You know what the next one is? Erosion of self-worth. What am I worth now? A lot of you women, you made babies in trauma bonds. Yeah. Some of your children, you were born from a trauma bond. Right now you got this baby. You're disconnected from the father. You're trying to figure out who's going to love me like this. All because of that trauma bond. Right? It's because I got pain, you got pain. No, if I got pain, I need to get healed. And if you got pain, you need to stay over there because all we can bring each other is our own crap. And that love feels soothing at first. You know what we call it? Oh, he understands me. He only understands the pain side of you. He'll never appreciate the healed side of you because he fell in love with the hurt side of you. You want to realize what kind of man you have? Get healed and see how he treats you. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here, y'all. Okay. Let me see who's in the chat because I gotta stop the show. Let me see. Yes, self-medicating with food is a sign of anxiousness. Yes, deep brokenness. Your best attempt to self-soothe. Absolutely, anything that will make me feel better in the moment. Right? But isn't it something how a lot of times a trauma bond is formed because you need something in the moment. And now you're trying to get healed, trying to get something in the moment. Stop treating your life like a bunch of moments, sister. Start making decisions so you can set a path, a standard for how you go about things. Let me see. All right. Whew. All right, I definitely got to do a part 2 because this is listen. It's too much. It's too much. Validation, right? My brother talked about that earlier. Here we go. I'll stop here because this is the last one I go. I have 2 more, and I'll come on Wednesday. I'll do my next live show, or I might drop a video for the other 2. But let me give you this last one right here. One of the worst results from trauma bond is when you start to misunderstand loyalty. Some of you sisters think you're being loyal. You're committing to self-destruction. It's not loyalty. That's not being loyal. That's not being loyal to yourself. Right? This is the question. If you're being loyal to a person, right? A man or a friend, because understand, a lot of you, it's not just relationship with men. A lot of you have trauma bonds with friends, right? Check it. I challenge you to check it. This is my call to action to you. I challenge you after I get off this live to sit down and start writing out all your friends and start putting next to them how you formed that friendship. I guarantee you have some trauma bonds with some people in your life. And that's why the road is up and down and up and down and up and down, because usually in a trauma bond situation, the 2 people are fighting over who's going to get the most attention. And it's not enough for 2 broken people. This is the issue when again, it goes back to your childhood. If nobody paid attention to you then, And then you had an ex that didn't pay attention, and you've been going through this since 16 or 17 years old. Now that you're 38, now that you're 42, now that you're 45, you're still dealing with rejection from when you were 12, right? And then some of you will run into a good man, but you won't be able to keep him. You won't be able to keep him, not because you're not a great woman, but these trauma bonds that have followed you. You'll want that one man to heal you from 32 years of trauma. And no man can handle that on his own. Misunderstood loyalty, sisters, right? If you're going to be loyal, you be loyal to a virtuous partner, but not just any man. And let me close by this. Let me finish by saying this. If you're made to love, you're going to love. If you're made to give, you're going to give. Don't try to put yourself in a bubble of I'm never going to love, I'm never going to give. The problem with that bubble is no one can get in, but you can't get out. So creating a bubble of you're not going to love anybody is not real. What is real is for you to slow your pace down and start looking at why you're creating these things. And start looking at the result of some of the trauma bonds you created. Right? Christian, can people have trauma? Absolutely. Is there something wrong with having trauma? No. Most of us have it. But building connection based on them is quite destructive. All right, dear sisters, I got to get out of here. But always understand this. You're worth it. You're worth every great decision you make. You're worth it. You're worth the hard decisions you make. And I'll say to you, like I say to the men, yesterday is history. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery. All you got is right now, sister. What you gonna do with it? No fear, no shame, no compromise. I love y'all. Stay woke, stay fly, stay beautiful, stay wise. See y'all Wednesday.